All right, guys, day 29, part one. So in this video, I want to talk about something that I mentioned in my last video about authority. Authority basically just means that you have experience you have a lot of experience with the thing that you're talking about, that you're teaching to other people. For example, Alex Ramosi, guy makes $100 million a year. He has the authority to talk about money. He has the authority to teach people how to do business and how to make money, right? If I were to talk about the same things that he does and with the same tonality, that's unacceptable because I don't have the authority to do that, right? Authority means, like, there's a difference in the tone that you use if you're speaking from a position of authority versus a position of a student, for example, right? A student or someone who's just documenting what they've learned from their experiences would say something like, hey, this is what worked for me. I did X, Y, and Z to get A. Whereas someone speaking from a position of authority can say, all right, I know it works. This is what you need to do, X, Y, Z. I do X, Y, and Z in order to get A. And so the tone is very different. The person speaking from authority knows exactly what the demographic that he or she is teaching should do in order to get what they want. Whereas a person speaking from the perspective of a student, the perspective of a learner, is just documenting what they've learned from their experiences and sharing that with other people. And so I change my tonality based on the topic that I'm discussing in my videos. For example, if I'm talking about making money, because I haven't made any money yet, or philosophy, because I'm only 19 years old, and although age shouldn't be a limiting factor, I don't have decades of wisdom with me, even though I've explored philosophy a lot. So when I'm talking about those two topics in particular, I speak from the perspective of a student. I just tell you guys about what I've learned and what works for me and teach you based on that. I don't tell you that this is exactly what you need to do in order to get X, Y, and Z, all right? Unless I actually have experience with the thing that I'm talking about. If I don't, if I just tried it for the first time, I'm like, hey, this is what I did, here's what I learned, then that's me speaking from the perspective of a student. Right. Now, there's other topics where I speak from the perspective of an authority. For example, productivity, time management, health and fitness, intermittent fasting, things that I have lots and lots of experience with. Doing well academically, balancing financial pursuits versus academics, and so on. When I'm talking about those kinds of topics, because I have authority in those fields, because I've achieved something of significance, at least to a certain extent, in each of those topics, in each of those disciplines, I speak from an authoritative position. I speak with a certain tonality that portrays to people, or that makes it clear to people, that I'm someone who knows what they're talking about. I've done this before, and I can tell you what you need to do in order to get what it is that I've done, or what it is that I have. And so that's basically what I mean by authority versus the perspective of a student. And so that first video that I made about why billionaires shouldn't pay taxes, I should not have spoken from an authoritative tone in that video. That's something that I eventually learned from researching and from just experience, right? That's a mistake that I made. Had I spoken from the perspective of a student saying, hey, this is what I researched, hey, this is what this report says, this is what I've learned from exploring this topic, if I had portrayed the information in that video from that perspective, it would have been fine. But because I portrayed it from the position of an authority, that's not correct, right? I don't have any authority in that field. I'm not a billionaire yet. So yeah, that's basically all I've got for this video. I hope you found some value in it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.